What is up, guys? It's Frank from the DOW. Welcome to not daily, but the weekly Raw review podcast. I don't know if I'm going to keep it weekly, but I feel the need to say a couple of things regarding Raw. Um, so I'm just gonna jump right into it like I normally would. First off, the Vince McMahon award segment. Nobody expected Shane McMahon to come back. Uh, the guy is 46 years old. To be honest with you, I gave up any type of hope that we would ever see Shane McMahon in a an on TV role, so to speak, at all. So Vince and Stephanie are talking, and all of a sudden Shane comes out, and the crowd goes nuts. And it was hands down the biggest crowd pop that anybody has gotten since the Attitude Era. You can argue The Rock comes back, The Rock gets a big pop. Austin comes back, Austin gets a big pop. No, a big pop. Nope, no, not at all. You can't even argue that with me or with anybody else because you won't win, and I will argue against you every single time. Shane McMahon got the biggest pop since the Attitude Era of the last 10 years. It's great to see Shane back. I was not expecting him to be Undertaker's opponent at Mania. I still think that that's going to be argued, and Cena is going to take his spot, much like Vince had somebody take his spot at WrestleMania 23 when he fought Donald Trump. If they do keep it as Taker versus Shane, now we have to think about a couple of things. What would make Vince think that Undertaker would agree to fight Shane? Undertaker has nothing to prove by beating Shane. He has nothing to he has nothing to lose by beating Shane. There has to be some type of backstory as to why Undertaker would decide to work with Vince. Maybe there's some other dark storyline that he has. Um, I don't know. I'm sure maybe the weeks that pop up before Mania, like the weeks coming up until WrestleMania, we'll find out more information. Key things that you guys have to remember if you did not pay much attention to the segment last night. Shane McMahon has a lockbox apparently in some bank somewhere, and the stipulation is that if Shane McMahon beats Undertaker at WrestleMania, inside Hell in a Cell, that he gets control of Monday Night Raw, not the whole company. That's what they said. They didn't say the whole company. They just said Monday Night Raw. Now if Vince wins, Vince gets whatever is inside of this lockbox, everything. Now nobody knows what's in the lockbox, so let's go to the next thing, which would be speculation. So let's speculate what's inside of this lockbox. Now, I'm not gonna go on a limb, but there's some people that made this bogus statement saying that inside the lockbox is a form that says that Shane McMahon has bought out TNA. Highly unlikely, not gonna happen. Get that thought out of your head right now, because it's not gonna happen. If we would have known about it, it would have been all over the internet already. You can't keep something that big off the internet. But they did keep Shane McMahon coming back off the internet, so that I give them major props for that. I think that maybe this lockbox has something to do where it's kind of like Vince's will. I don't know why Shane would have it, but maybe something along the lines where it's a mutual agreement that's written down on paper that says if, God forbid, Vince McMahon dies, or when he dies, storyline wise, obviously, that the entire company goes to Shane McMahon, and there's really nothing that Steph or Triple H can do about it. Yeah, that's my guess. I want to know what your guys' guesses are. Write them down underneath this post after I post it in the group. Alright, so I guess we'll move forward from that, although I really do want to keep talking about it because that was the whole highlight of Raw, besides the last thing that happened. Lesnar versus Ambrose has the potential to be an amazing match. I don't know if it will be. I don't know if the plan is for Ambrose to finally beat Brock, if the Brock keeps whipping his ass over and over again. It's a street fight. I thought it was going to be an ambulance match. But I'm glad that they didn't go that route, because every time somebody gets their ass kicked and they show up back in the ambulance, it's always an ambulance match. So I'm kind of glad that it's not, and it's a street fight. It's in Mania, obviously. I don't know how good of a match it's going to be, because you're inside AT&T Stadium. It's not like you can really run backstage if they keep it that way, because the ring is dead center in the middle of the field, so you can't really run anywhere except for in the ring, unless they go into the crowd or they set up some other areas over there where they could do some other high spots or some really cool stuff. I just hope that they make Ambrose win and they don't let Brock win, because what's the point of taking the IC title off Ambrose if they're not going to do anything with him that either pushes him or has any significance to it. Moving forward, I don't know what they're doing with the Wyatt family. I don't know what match they're going to have, if they're going to have a match, if they're not going to have a match, who they would face at this point. It makes no sense to keep having them in six-man tag matches against Ryberg, Kane, and Big Show. I really thought that Bray was going to fight Lesnar, or Strowman was going to fight Lesnar, or any one of them was going to fight Lesnar, but they didn't go that route. I don't know why. I don't know why they continue to make the Wyatt family lose on pay-per-views, but only make them win on Raw. I don't know if Bray is in the doghouse for something that he did behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Hopefully, everything is good. The Social Outcasts have been getting a push by creative or whoever obviously likes them, because they keep popping up, and I'm happy for them. I just wish that Axel got more in-ring time, Slater got more in-ring time. I wish they would just put all of them in like a match, just showcase what they can do, instead of always focusing on like two guys only that are in the group instead of all of them. Like, why not just make all of them in single matches? You have enough time. Cut out some of that stupid bullshit backstage nonsense that you have, and let them, showcase their skills. I don't know who's feuding against New Day. I have no idea what direction creative is going with them. One night they're talking about the League of Nations. The next night they're facing Neville and the Lucha Booties. So I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. Either way, I like them. No matter what they are, I'm gonna like them regardless. But I don't know where they're going storyline wise, who their opponents are supposed to be for the belts. I had wanted it to be a TLC match, and I still do. The Usos against New Day against the Dudleys. But I guess we'll see what happens. AJ is probably gonna fight Owens for the IC title at Mania, or if he doesn't, it's gonna end up being Y2AJ, their new tag team, so to speak, I guess, and they'll fight somebody at Mania. Goldust and R-Truth still aren't a tag team yet, but they're working down the line to get there eventually, and I'm sure it'll be really cool when it does happen. What else? Triple H and Ambrose. Triple H and Roman, sorry. See, I keep on wanting it to be Ambrose, but obviously it's not. So, Triple H and Roman. The end of Raw, I fell asleep. I'm not gonna lie. I was running around all day yesterday, so I was tired and fell asleep toward the end. But I did watch the video. Then it's good to see. Actually, we all said it in the group, and I forget who put it up, or who asked about, or yeah, like who asked us. We had all taken a vote whether we thought it was fact or crap that that Mania Triple H is gonna be the good guy and Roman's gonna be the bad guy. Obviously, if you saw Raw last night, you got a preview. 15,000 people were cheering for Triple H, and the rest of the crowd was booing Roman anytime he went on the offensive and tried to make a comeback against Triple H. Um, if you didn't see the video yet, Byron Saxton hands Roman the blood pills. You can see it clear. Well, I mean, he's in the way, but you can still see him handing off pills, the blood capsules to Roman. It's good. I like it. I don't care if it's fake blood. It's still blood. It's on TV. If they continue it, great. If they don't, they're making a huge mistake. But I in the beginning I wasn't happy. For Mania, I wasn't excited in the least bit. I thought it might end up being the shittiest WrestleMania in a few years, but it's shaping up to be a really really good pay per view. Um, the Rock is still supposed to be there. Austin is still supposed to be there in some way. Um, it should be really good, and I guess for now we just have to hang on and keep watching Raw, and we'll see what happens. It's gonna end up getting better, I think. If they make Shane win, and he controls Raw, he basically acknowledged everything that we said. Now I don't know if this was like fed to him to say, or if Vince just let him say exactly how he feels. But he said that the company's going down the drain under control of Stephanie and Triple H, and he wants his kids, the fifth generation, sixth, seventh, and so forth, to continue to run the company when they're old enough. But they can't do that at the rate that they're going now, because it's shitty. It's terrible, terrible programming, and nobody really wants to watch that, despite ratings, I guess, and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm Frank from the DOW. Yeah, you can find us on Facebook. Look up the site for the wrestling. We have 162 members. I guess somebody added new people. 162 members. Find the page, like it, add it, share it, show it to your friends, your parents, your mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. Show it to anybody who's a wrestling fan. Let's try to get this page up to 400 by the end of the year. And yeah, for the new members that aren't here, I hope you guys enjoy this page as much as I enjoy doing podcasts and keeping this page up and running for you guys with new information about Raw, SmackDown, Lucha Underground. I don't post about TNA because I don't like TNA. If you guys want to post about it, be my guest. Same thing goes for any other wrestling promotion that you guys know about that we don't know about. Anyway, I'm Frank, and I'll be back with another podcast soon. Enjoy.